game against Sinners.
Exactly right. And I think as well, one of the things that's pretty exciting is that placing third was actually an okay result in the end. They definitely would have been hoping for more. I think they probably would have been hoping to maybe win the whole thing, knowing the form they are currently on. But, you know, that's what people will criticize, right? The fact that they have done amazing work online. The MRQ was online, but landform was a bit of a question mark. So we'll have to see how that goes. But we're underway on Mirage here. Big deal, this game between Sinners and Bait. Winner goes through to that BO5 final. Like I said, Sinners have been on a little bit of rougher form lately than Bait, but they did look great in their win against Paravision the other night. Can they perform well again? They'll be preparing everything for this match, knowing what's on the line.
Yes, sir. Big stack on the save bomb site for Sinners, and it's going to start off splendidly for them. Shock and Marisco both finding a frag apiece. Bates are just running into the entire Sinners team right now. They try and keep things as simple and direct as they possibly can, but they get picked apart, and that's a flawless way for Sinners to open up.
Yeah, simple as that. Bait just run into A and get plucked from the round. Zedco with 2. Of course, this core on Sinners have been together for a very long time now. The Shock, B-Stick, Zedco core. Zedco's, of course, have been a little bit in and out, but still.
Exactly. Zedco was playing for Sampy for a while, but he's come back home. I'm a big fan of this team. Of course, they got Peppo in the AWP role as well, replaced Oscar. Of course, massive shoes to fill, and he certainly does have the talent and the potential. But you do kind of lack a star rifler on the Sinners team. I think that's kind of a glaring problem for them, is that they've got a strong team, they've got decent systems, they've got good protocols, but when it comes down to the power department, sometimes that's where they can fall short in these sorts of matches.
Yeah, Marisco will get himself a quad kill there against the anti-eco. Pretty clean. Kenzazor trying to be a bit of a troll, jumping up and down there on the bench to try and get one kill. Did get one. That's fine. Now Bait's buy will be out and ready. And yeah, listen, like, Bait, so much great success online and getting qualifications for big events, but this is one that they really want. If they're able to get to Pro League, that'll just give them a massive boost to the VRS. Of course, a reminder when it comes to the VRS events, of course, points are only counted once the event ends. And for everyone playing in every single region in ESL Challenger League, when the league is over, they'll get that big injection of points. Right? I think it's Thrust and Vision after winning Challenger League up to like 26th in the VRS, the global VRS. So it shows you what can happen when the event will actually end, and you'll get that injection of money and points. So for whoever wins the tournament, whoever even places in the top 4, we'll be looking forward to seeing how that changes their ranking.
Bait have never played at a Pro League before, Trav. I just went and checked that out. So would be their first outing, would be their debut if they're able to make it. As we do have the first gun round upon us here. Bait actually looking to just get some space in the middle right now. Haven't really taken any gunfights, so Sinners don't know exactly what's going on right now. Baits have just been able to quietly make their way up catwalk in towards this B bomb site. B-Stick steps out and he sees 2 players, so now they know exactly what's going on. Kenzazor is going to turn on the burners as he charges his way forward. Marisco on the boost has been spotted. Not a favorable angle at all. Kenzazor does a lot of damage, and NPL will be able to find himself a double. A third comes through from him. And we've got the classic old name for NPL in the kill feed, Trav. It's good old Nipple who's made a return.
My guy has been so good for this Bait roster. That's one of the main hallmarks of the team. The fact that NPL can call and frag so hard. It's really one of the favourite things about them. I think he did an interview for it with HLTV a little while back, and also a couple of interviews around the scene as well, just talking about how good that and how important that is to have a playmaker in-game leader rather than a sort of a sacrificial in-game leader.
Yeah, it gives him a more complete picture of what's going on because he's in and amongst the thick of things. He's in the round itself. He's not on the extremity or just jumping in first and then dying. He's got a much better idea of what's going on. And then because he's so strong as a fragger as well, he can use himself to impact the round, not just by calling and making reads, but actually by taking advantage of those reads as well. And communicate what he wants a teammate to do. He can just do it himself. Well worked round there from Bait as well. Just combining in towards that B bomb site, splitting their way up cat and through apartments. Kenzazor got really far forward before Sinners could do anything about it. I think that was a big problem in the round, just how far Bait actually got before they ran into any resistance.
Yeah, Morisco boosted up on the default box, right? Just didn't jiggle or just swing himself. Like, he let himself get seen, arm spotted. And Bait took advantage of that immediately. And MPL in particular. Of course, last time these two teams played was back in late or very early February, I should say. It was a 13-2, 13-5 for Sinners, by the way. That was in CCT.
Yeah, I saw that.
On Inferno and Anubis. But I think that's an important thing to mention, is that would have been quite early during Kenzizor's adaptation to the roster. So I think that is
he just joined the team.
Exactly. So I think you can forgive them for maybe taking a bit of time to get him adjusted to things.
Well, he's not going to clear the entire way through, so Beastic with the MP9 is going to be the first to draw blood here in the round. That is going to prompt Bait to start to move into this B bomb side, but Beastic has traded his MP9 for an AK, and he's found a second. And that's fantastic for Sinners, because they decided to just play off of the bomb sites entirely, but now they've got a big numbers advantage here to make this retake a reality.
They've got a double flank to come in as well. Essentially, has spotted that out, so that's really important. And MPL now knows in 3v5 he has to go aggressive, looking for another one. Oh, and Pepper only just manages to avoid getting fragged with that scout. Essentially is so stuck, flashed off the angle, good find. It's now all down to head trick, stuck on short, 3 to kill. And how does he even isolate these fights? They're going to push forward towards the side. Now there is a kit available for Pepper and Zedko, and that will mean they can take a little bit more time, deep breath, figure it out. Morisco will find the headshot, and that is the third for Sinners.
It was always supposed to be Sinners' round, to be fair, with the 5 versus 3 on the retake. A good effort from Bait to try and give themselves a fighting chance. You know, if Essential survives in apartments, then who knows what happens from there. NPL does try go searching, as you say, kind of it has to be proactive. Very good flash there from Zedko to get back into apartments, and then everything just falls into place from there for Sinners. 3-1. Good response from Sinners after losing the first round, or their first round here on the map. Not like they had a fantastic investment either, but they've answered back immediately.
Oh, Zedko is burning, walking into the Molotov and getting spammed through underpass there. I kind of mentioned to you earlier on one of the casts we were doing elsewhere about how I hate really seeing too much CT aggression coming through underpass if you don't go the whole way. When you're stuck in that cubby, it feels very awkward. But Zedko did make sure he had a possibility to escape, just. Flames almost took him down.
And now he's got the AWP. Just had a look at Pepper and said, mate, if you don't mind, I just took a bit of damage in my excursion in towards middle, and you know what? He justifies the decision. He's already been able to find a pick, just posted on the angle. Another opening frag found here for Sinners. Been very good in that department so far.
And Pepper will drop the bomb, bottom con. That's huge. And now dump all of his utility, causing 28 HP. Morisco, great reaction onto an MPL on the ledge there. It's a huge kill to find. Leaves Alex last alive in mid. This is the one thing with Bait, right? They're gaining in confidence. They're gaining in reps in nearly every single map they play. I think Nuke is the only map they really don't go toward anymore. They've kind of been playing 7 for a little while and then kind of decided to pick a perma for good. The last few months out, or last month or so, it has been Nuke, sorry. But the problem is they always seem to have the capability to lose. Maybe even to any team they play as well. Because if you would have looked at their recent form, you would have seen that game against Beterra in the upper semi-finals. I think it's mostly because Beterra were a completely unknown quantity, and it's one of the only tournaments they've really looked good in the entire calendar year so far. But as I said, Dust 2 on map 3, they were 12-11 up. They could have won that game, Beterra, and been in this position that Beta are in right now. But Bait grounded out and found a way to win in overtime. So it's good to show that they can win those close games, Matt, but at the same time, not all of them are easy when you want a team of this caliber to make them look easy.
Yeah, I guess what we want from Bates is just for the floor to rise and for them to start to consistently beat teams that are below, which would be that matchup against Beterra, a game like this against Sinners as well. We want to see them consistently cleaning up those tier 2.5 teams to prove that they are a level above that. And it's not just that they can play at a level above that, but that is going to be what we can expect from them consistently. You know who is a big game player? Is Beastic. He's an IGL who doesn't get overwhelmed by the pressure. He rises to the pressure. He's the one who will just make sure that everybody believes, that makes sure that everybody buys into what's going on. He's an IGL who will stick to his guns and stick to his style even in these tense matchups. He doesn't shy away from them. And that's exactly what you want from your captain, because that energy then exudes through the rest of the camp.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, he's been around this setup for such a long time now. Quite a lot of experience. And this is...
I feel like there could be an alternative universe where he you know, qualified for a few majors and was able to get out of the Czech region, be like a G2 IGL or something like that one day.
Imagine. Listen, I think there's an opportunity. As soon as we're very aware, this is a wonderful chance to get through to a BO5 final to qualify for a big event. Obviously, painful for them that there isn't a couple of spots available at Pro League. Only the winner makes it, of course, in every region this season. A couple of seasons before, it was a
something
finalist.
I did think about earlier, though, Trav,
Go on.
is that if it's Na'Vi Jr. against Bates in the final, or anybody against Na'Vi Jr. in the finals, you basically just get the spot. Let me focus on the round for a second, though, because this has turned into a 3v3. Bates have been able to get into that vacant B bomb site again, and there's an AWP on head trick. Oh, no. The round's being turned on its head right now. It looks like Peppo might actually already be calling it. I mean, Zedco is coming through apartments right now, so maybe he could catch them off guard, but no. He, too, will call it a day, and Bait, while I'm just rambling on completely off topic, have won an eco.
That's a huge round to win if you're Bait. Zedco's going to try and play aggressive exits, and the head trick might go down, but he actually hasn't taken any damage, and he does have time to get away towards short. So if he can keep the AWP, that'll be really big. Bait have somehow managed to find the win on this low investment round. Crazy.
But yeah, just to go back to the point that I was making, if anybody gets into the final against Na'Vi Jr., then they basically have that spot at Pro League because Na'Vi Jr. can't take it because the main Na'Vi team will be competing at Pro League.
Yes, you'd think so, but who knows? Navi might say, okay, this is the event we're going to take a break from for you know, mental reasons and just a bit of a breather. We'll let the academy play it.
Let their academy team play it? Yeah, fair enough. Could be. I'd love that.
I would love that.
I think it would be fantastic for their experience. I think that would be the right decision. But who knows if that is the decision that they'll make, right?
Yeah, because of course, Spirit Academy were in the playoffs until Zero Tenacity knocked them out yesterday. So... yeah, that was also
I think it's unlikely Na'Vi would do that, but I would love that if they did.
Yeah, I think it's very unlikely as well. Also, like, Spirit have pulled out of a Pro League before, so if Spirit Academy had made it, then they absolutely may have let them do it. Kiyosuke literally won a LAN today, the Bet Boom LAN to LAN.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I think for sure that Spirit would consider letting them have that. But a lot to figure out, of course. We don't know 100% whether Na'Vi will accept the invite or not. There's a while to go yet. We will poke some people nearer the time and see if we can get any insider information as to whether Na'Vi Jr. would actually play Pro League if they were to qualify.
Oh yeah, I'll just DM JL because we follow each other, so I could do that to find out my insider.
JL as well, mate. Come on now.
Okay, what about Ime, Trav? Could you DM Ime?
No. Played beer pong with Ime at the HLTV Awards, but it doesn't follow me back, sadly.
I'd say that actually tops being followed by him, honestly. So, there we go. Good to have that one. Here we go. Big exit into the A-bomb site coming through from Bait right now. Util raining on in. 35 seconds on the clock. And Sinners are committed right now. They're looking to fight Bait on the front lines. Shock is going to find a kill, as does Peppo. It's going to be very difficult now for Bait all of a sudden. They do breach into the site, though, and they find 2 kills in response.
That's huge. Alex getting the one. Essential, one of his own as well. And it's back in again into a 2v2. Another 1-for-1. Bomb is not planted, and now it's a bit of a scramble. 10 seconds on the clock, and Alex decides to go aggressive with the bomb. That's a crazy decision. Now he has to commit to it, though, and triple box is paper thin. Zedco, oh my word. Alex tries to jump away towards CT. That's a crazy decision, but he gives it a look. Surely now it's all in Zedco's hands, but Alex has found the AWP, the nade, takes him down to 1 HP. He's got the angle. I thought for a second he was going to hit that shot immediately and somehow win it on 1 HP, but he's still got a chance to do exactly that. Zedco will creep forward. Chusa hold it against the AWP. That is a crazy decision. Alex is going to go peeking, but Zedco reacts in time. Oh my word. What an attempt from Alex. 3 kills in vain.
Oh, he had his opportunity there, Trav. He had a chance there posted on the angle. He misses his shot on a single point of health. God did everything he could to try and enable Alex, but he can't actually take over his mouse and keyboard. Only shield him. And it is going to be Sinners who have done it again, Trav. Again, they've had Bait building their way into this game, because every time Bait have won a round, Sinners have answered back immediately afterwards, and it was the shadow advantage there for Zedco that gives them that little bit of a heads up to get off the defuse. Alex was super low on health. I mean, it was basically impossible for him after he misses that initial shot. Bait will afford a reinvestment, but Sinners could start to run away with this if they win the 8th round.
Oh, that's huge from Peppo. Kenzor's going to try and take him. He hears him running away back up connector, trying to run him down. Only just manages it. Now Zedko is the one to try and look to trade, but that's huge from Kenzor. Morisco towards short, not expecting him to be a catwalk play, very close, lots of damage done, and Alex will pounce on that one.
Very nice.
Good understanding and maneuverability around the map there, even though it was kind of manic for Bait.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Just very good reading of the situation there from Kenzie Saw. He didn't really make a meal of it, but he totally makes up for it with that second kill. Avoiding being traded was everything for Kenzie Saw. Oh, B-Stick in apartments. Oh my goodness, nice step up from Ascenthiel there, man. Just full confidence and conviction. He says, these are my apartments on the B-bomb site. This is my home on the CT side. And on the T side, he owns it as well. And we have a game on our hands, Trav. Back and forth we go. This is going to demolish Sinners' economy, though.
Yeah.
Going to have their worst investment so far in this next round.
It's going to be rough for sure. This will be Bait's 32nd Mirage in the last 3 months. As I said, that incredible 15 win streak at one point. But all good things have to come to an end. But it's still one they're very happy to pick into, especially online. I did wonder if those LAN performances against the Huns and Big would have maybe destroyed their confidence on it, but they have stuck with it. Especially losing to the Huns 13-9 was such a wild result. I can forgive them maybe, considering, you know, that's a LAN in Mongolia, lots of travel. It was an event that was considerably delayed every single day, so maybe they were just like in a terrible mood. Who knows, but...
Also, the Huns are a team that loves to just play aggressive Counter-Strike and run at their opponents, which Mirage totally lends itself to.
Exactly.
So it would have been a completely different style compared to what Bait had been used to up until then, I think, on the map.
Yeah, it's a good point. Let you know that the other...
And now we can see... Yeah, go ahead,
I just wanted
mate.
to say that the other games in the playoffs, of course, in the bracket have gotten underway. Paravision 2-1 up against Z10, and Navi Junior 4-3 up on Beterra as it stands. Long night to come.
So much
everyone.
on the line for these 6 teams, man. So much on the line. 1 spot at Pro League, 6 teams in contention. NPL gonna lead the charge. And he takes down his opposite number. 1 kill, that gets the job done. If you're Sinners, you don't even feel this out. You just accept it, you call it a day, head for the hills, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah, right move to make for sure. Try and use this force in the next round again. Good tag from Peppo. That will force Alex to have to push a little bit further away from the bomb explosion. Could force him into another player. Looks like he's going to go App, so that's the right decision to make.
And Bait have now strung consecutive rounds together for the first time here on the map. As they start to get the engine going, they're warming up. You know, if this was any other tournament, like a online CCT or Yellow Compass game, I'd say Sinners have a chance of pushing Bait, maybe upsetting them, definitely winning a map. But I just think with this being a tournament that is of utmost importance, and just after Bait have had the recent success of qualifying for the major, I don't really give Sinners much of a chance, if I'm being brutally honest. I'd say this is somewhere like 75-25 in Bait's favor.
That's quite a big number. I'm willing to give them 60-40. I'm willing to give Sinners a little bit more credit than that.
Yeah. I just think if we see Bait at their best and Sinners at their best, then Bait clear them quite comfortably. They've just got such strong fraggers across the board, and they've got the systems and protocols, the experience alongside each other, deep map pool.
Yeah, fair enough. I just have a feeling this is going to be one of those long, drawn-out games, considering how important it is for both. Head trick, nice reaction towards Zedko, creeping toward him on stairs. Kenzor will find one as well. There is a scout and Hannah still on A, and actually everyone's going to be here for Sinners now, but there are insurance policies for Bait. Just the USP left, and it'll all be cleaned up thanks to Kenzor and Ascenthiel. 5-5, they've evened themselves back up once again. Yeah, and Matt, right, I can only imagine the reaction, not just from the players, unfortunately, because the MRQ was online, we never saw it, but from the players and the backroom staff at the organization of Bait, right? After finally qualifying for the major with that Alex 1v3 against Astralis, after all the years of hurt with different rosters. 2-1 and 2-0 in 2 separate previous RMRs. To finally do it would have been just so incredible for them. Quick trade for Kenzazor and Connector. Covers it into a 3v3, but Pepper and Mariska will answer back. They get an advantage now, but Hedrick will get the bomb planted. Will eat a nade, but it's a 2v3.
Yeah, retake very doable. I mean, you have got Hedrick who's ramp right now. He'll be the most difficult part for Sinners to try get past. They have got a smoke, but they've got no kit, so time's of the essence. Alex is going to cross the connector smoke. They seem to have a pretty good idea that he's there. Marisko's starting to run, and Alex is going to time that for his peak, but he's gone down. And now the smoke is so difficult for Hedrick. You'd love to have a rifle in this situation. It's going to have to be a 10-second defuse, and that's going to be no problem at all, because Marisko has his teammate covered.
Yeah, and Hedrick there probably does the best he can do. It looks pretty simple, but he gets the first, picks aggressively for it, and then picks aggressively for the second as well, right? Like, he goes for the wider swing, trying to hold for Sandwich, thinking that the player's pushing up right next to him, but unfortunately it's right above him. You can see it here, like, immediately looks down to Sandwich, try and get a quick scope for below him, knowing one player's going to be occupied with the defuse, could get something special from that decision, but not allowed to. Final round of the half coming in. This one's gone pretty speedy, isn't it? It's been a pretty entertaining half so far.
Oh, yeah. I think Alex had to get more done in towards jungle. If Alex gets that kill Marisko, then Bait probably win the round. It's such a fine margin, because then Hedrick can really play his situation out, or play his position out, instead of being forced to play from there. NPL, good work from him. Trav's favorite, Zedko in towards lowers. Goes down early on, and that's not going to help Sinners' cause here.
Yeah, a lot of the time I feel like that plan doesn't even have an out, which is why I dislike it. Bait got 4 players up con. It's going to have to be down to Shock to multi-frag, and he can only get the 1. Alex does well to trade. Mariska's already into a jungle as well, but unfortunately Peppo's gone down to Ascenthiel. That's one of the things that Ascenthiel can be so good at. These important mid-round entries, even early round entries. He's got excellent first bullet accuracy. Played all the tough spots, plays entry. Great servant for the team. And rewarded now with a berth at a major. So exciting for him. B-Stick and Marisko 2v4 here. Trying to recover this one, and Hedrick will already take one extra step toward a 6-6 half. To go aggressive for the last as well, knowing where B6 is coming from, but it's Alex to get the kill. 2 for him to end off the half. It is evens at 6-6. Bait do really well to recover 6 on the half. We thought that Bait would come into this game and maybe dominate a little bit against Sinners, knowing Sinners' recent form and Bait's recent form. But Sinners have showed a good face, and their individuals are here to play. Second half, Bait on CT now, looking to try and take another Mirage as a green W in 2025.
Yeah, the concern for Sinners is that Bait got better as the map went on, and now they find themselves on the favored side of the map. Bait have a very strong CT side here on Mirage, a near 60% win rate, so Sinners certainly have got their work cut out for them. And look at all the information that Bait have at their disposal right now. They know exactly what's going on. And Hedrick, well, he's not going slowly either. He is running into T-spawn. He needs to be careful that he doesn't overrun this. He might, you know.
Well,
oh, never mind. He's just gotten a kill, actually.
That's crazy from Hedrick. Literally full confidence and understanding of the map there. Gets one and manages to fall away with it as well. And Sinners will realise that they're fully clocked what's going on. And will also realise there's a whole minute left in the round. So he may as well not just go into the stack that Bait will likely be preparing. A quick leap across TV. That was probably seen by Hedrick, considering how he was jiggling in mid there. So, quick rotation from 3 players, actually. And again, they're going to be ahead of the game here, Bait. They've just been reading Sinners like a book so far. But now they need to hit their shots. That could be the issue. But Hedrick's found one more towards Zedco. MPL playing in the corner of the site in a really good position. B6 the only man to get a kill so far for Sinners. Eventually he'll get another one, and that is an important one for Shock. He's removed Hedrick back into a 2v2. B6 so low from his 2-kill exploits though, and 19 seconds to find a plant. It's going to be a little bit too much for them to deal with.
Yeah, NPL really did just slow down time there and didn't want to force the issue. He recognized that he was in a really good position, just using that smoke grenade against his opponents, playing around it, and he didn't force it either. He waited for it to activate, and when he does, he locks in the round for his team. Bait will get the lead. First time they've had their noses in front in this map so far. No bomb plant for Sinners either, means it's probably going to be an eco. I think this is where we could start to see the creeping in on Mirage, Trav, here in the second half. Bait on the favored side of the map, Sinners on the more difficult side. We know how robust Bait are on the CT side in general, especially with someone like Hedrick as the AWPer. I mean, he is so good at just locking down bomb sites, reading opponents, recognizing where to position himself, you know, where to be able to impact the round.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to kill Hedrick as well, because he's not like an AWPer who's going to reface unnecessarily or peek unnecessarily or try and get aggressive when there's no reward for it. He's very good at kind of just playing the percentages, I think.
It's funny, right? Because my opinion of Hedrick for a good while, especially when he was toward the end of his NIP run, right? That is, just plays way, way too defensively. I was still along the same sort of opinion after a few, a few months on Bait, but now I think he's struck a really good balance between the two. And he can be aggressive when he needs to be, and he is defensive when he's right as well.
Yeah, that's been like the evolution of his game. It's been great to see him continue to go from strength to strength and grow as a player. Still in the early stages of his career.
Yeah, feels like he's been around forever, right? With like a few pros that he
used to be a rifler.
Yeah, correct. There's a few.
He was playing in that Na'Vi Academy team with Monacy, with Fear as well.
There's a few riflers, or a few AWPers, sorry, that are very good on the rifle, like Wonderful as well, for example.
Oh!
This is a great round from Sinners, though. This is going to be a very easy cleanup against a bonus buy, obviously.
Yeah, but this was flawless. They made this look very easy. Just going through the motions, working their way through middle, and then as soon as they activate, they're just all over that A-bomb site like a rash. Util usage on point as well. Bait never really stood a chance in this round.
Yeah, it was a perfect call from Sinners, knowing what weaponry Bait had, right?
And it's not like Bait are going to be having an AWP in this next round either. So this is where Sinners have to try and take advantage of the fact that they're not having to deal with the head trick AWP on the CT side. Because I tell you what, when that guy's posted CT ramp, or he's jumping on top of the ticket booth and peering down connector, when he's posted up in apartments, you're just not really going to get past him. More often than not, he's going to find the kills and stay alive. So they have to take advantage of not having to deal with that AWP now and try and rack up as many rounds as possible before it comes to the table.
They will be able to go for their full buy now. But of course, it is lacking the head trick AWP. And Sinners very much focused on B, and they're going for a faster play. I actually really like this call. Could still fail, but they're using a lot of utility to make this happen. Smoked off towards short already. Our bait. NPL is also going to be smoked off toward market. They're kind of pincered here. There's a player on pillar they're not aware of, and Shock is somehow able to take Kenzazor before head trick realizes. It's an important one for Shock. NPL does get his one though, and he's somehow still alive on the bin. 4v3. There is a kit on Essential and on MPL. It's still going to be such a hard retake, especially with B-Stick in this position, and that's so precise. 2 taps from bench. Will get sprayed down by Essential though. The round is not done. Risco's getting baited in, but he's whiffed horribly. And now Essential with that defuse kit could maybe make a hold happen here. As Peppo in toward the apartments. Smoke is up. Diffuse is coming through, and MPL will be holding the line correctly. That is an incredible retake from Bait, considering they lost 2 players on short like they did.
Yeah, 2 key things to highlight there in that post-plant / retake. Morisco really does fluff his lines there. I mean, he was sold... He really was baited in so nicely by Beastie, who gets these 2 kills, then he's the one who goes down. But it's a nice kind of peer in that direction from Essential, and then he can just commit to the full swing. And then NPL, notice how he's not actually facing from broken wall looking into apartments. He stayed tucked in for just 1 second. 1 second was all he needed to do to draw that player out in the open and make it a much easier duel for NPL. Because at that point, the Sinners player is really worried about the defuse being stuck. What a retake from Bait. That was very difficult, you know. There was a lot going on there. I'm surprised they're able to make that work, but I guess that's just a testament to the level that they have right now and why they've been so successful.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Teamwork, communication, even in the more manic scenarios. They do have some chokeability, do Bait. We saw that in the MRQ, but you can understand why it showed and reared its head there. How important that was to everyone.
Okay, well, this is going to be a very important round for Sinners, because if they lose here, 10-7 becomes 11-7, and I don't know if they're going to be able to fight back from there on the T side. So there's a lot weighing on this round right now as they try and go in towards A again. They found success here before. Alex on the off angle will draw blood, and that's going to be attempting to bait Essential in, but Alex has found a second. Essential gets blinded, but he will be able to make his way back into the smoke undetected. Alex is still alive. MPL's gone down. Essential still unchecked, still undetected, waiting for his opportunity to pounce. The smoke is still concealing him. He's going to hear that bomb plump, but he decides against pushing through that smoke. He will wait for the opportunity to present itself. It's not the cleanest spray, though. Beastie gets a trade, able to make his way back into CT. He's found the headshot on head trick. Are you kidding me? But Kenzie saw Will still just go for the wall bang and save Bait.
Wow, that is again an incredible round from Bait. So enjoyable to watch, man. There's a reason why I've liked this team for such a long time as well. I was rooting for them so much during that MRQ to finally make a major. And yeah, it's just they've got an X factor about them now. This round was so exciting. Alex did so well here to double down from that door position, and Essential playing the trigger discipline. The fact that they're in this position here and the round wasn't more comfortable for them is pretty crazy. But they've managed to squeak their way through again, but of course 1 player alive, Matt. Sinners have a half buy, which could do even more damage too. They're keeping Bait honest economically right now.
Yeah, they are. You're right. At the bare minimum, they're making Bait work very hard for these rounds, and they're getting kills in the rounds that they're losing. But Bait now have a 3-round buffer. There's NPL going searching in lowers early on. That's losing his life and a gun recoverable as well. Especially against the eco, man. Like, that just seems completely unnecessary. Feels a little bit troll, actually. Oh, and Kenzie Saw's got to be careful not to overexpose himself here. Oh, man, this is looking nervy, Trav.
I'm nervy too. Will Ascenti be able to react to this one? He will. Thankfully, it's an easy one, of course, with Peppo having no Kevlar. Hedrick will deal with shock as well. 11 is 3 kills away. Kenzazor pushing forward. He doesn't be wary about just going in a bit alone here, but thankfully Morisco will present himself on a silver platter. Pretty comfortable. Now Beastick with the AK, stuck on Van, looking for everything, but only able to get some damage to Kenzazor. It's a good find. He was always going to get pincered from 2 separate angles. Bait, again, looking great online on Mirage.
Yeah, good recovery in the round after they lost their captain early on. Pretty damn good throughout this map. He's hit some really good shots at range with the AK, but he needs his teammates to come to the party. Shock is 5 and 12, 7 and 12. Peppo started quite strong, but he's completely disappeared since then. And now Bait within touching distance of getting this map done and going up 1-0 in this upper bracket final. Do you get a map advantage in the best of 5 Trav upper brackets?
Correct.
That is huge. That is a massive bonus to get for either of these teams.
Ascential.
Job to do for Ascential.
Yeah, always the big anchor, always the small side anchor, but usually pretty decent at it. Unfortunately, nothing this time, and that's going to be another tough round for Bait coming in. Another retake that's going to be awkward for them, and Peppo waiting in mid. Alex made a lot of noise bottom con. Will get punished for that. 4v3 now, and an advantage with the money situation for Bait. They have a little bit of residual cash, but the smart money is on a save here, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that also just comes down to the damage that's been inflicted in these rounds that Sinners have lost. So Bait don't really have that luxury of just rolling the dice on the retake. Good work from Sinners. Good work indeed. I like the way that Peppo was controlling middle as well, just standing out in the open, backing himself. Did seem like it was a little bit overzealous from Alex, and Ascential just got run over there. There's just so much pressure ramping up on his direction at a moment's notice. So Sinners keep themselves alive for a little bit longer. And these rounds have been convincing on the T side. There have been good calls from Beastick, good changes in direction and pace, good confidence on display within the calls coming through as well. And when I say that, what I mean is that they're not just playing very slow and timid Counter-Strike and posting up across the map and then maybe eventually setting up for an execute. There's they've got some swag about them, right? They're running at Bait. They've got that confidence on display, which is good to see for Sinners. That's why it's actually kind of instilled some belief in my camp.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Sinners will come into this game very, very prepared. They know it's Bait's best map. They know it's one they got a lot of, I guess, information out there to review on why it's so good
material.
for them. Exactly, and yeah, I think that's what makes it an interesting game. And Alex is not ready for Zedko to be straight out ramp. He's tapped Alex, he's tapped Kenzazor through the corner of the smoke as well, as it was broken toward jungle, I believe. And already we know what the answer is. Bait have to save, they've got no choice. Double AWP as well.
Yeah, that's round over. Round over. All right, well, Hedrick did miss a shot at the start of the round there. On top of stairs, posted down ramp. I don't know how that frag would have affected the way that Sinners try and approach the round, but it certainly would have made life a lot more doable for those A-site players. I mean, Alex was just committed to the corner on top of the platform, hoping he doesn't get hard cleared, but Zedko does look in his direction. And then the double down. That second kill was the kill that really secures the round. Kenzie Saw and Cat just gets destroyed through that con smoke. 11-9. Next round's... Do they eco here? Alex will have 1900 coming his way. I wonder if they're going to... I guess NPL can drop an M4. Alex gets MP9 off from us, but this is starting to look a little bit scary.
Right, well, the decision is to try and use a double AWP alongside rifles to the best of their ability. Well, one thing I will say is I didn't actually expect Essential on it, but I understand why, as he's one of those B players, obviously, to have one player on an AWP in a good position. But it's head trick on the primary that really needs to deliver here. Again, the shot gets an entry. Managed to find something toward A very quickly, and they've got Morisco down onto Firebox. That is pretty crazy.
Undetected. Yeah, Bates have no idea that he's there. So now the question is, how do Sinners take advantage of Morisco being there?
Don't tell me
Doesn't
MPL's
look like NPL's going to get back
No.
into the site. No, there's no way he's ever going to consider this. But does Morisco take the kill on offer? Okay, he does. But I don't know if that was an option for Morisco. I think a bit of trigger discipline could have gone a long way there. Because that smoke ramp means that his teammates can't necessarily join up with him just yet, and Headtrick is going to go searching.
Oh, pushing forward. Great find. Okay, yeah, as you say, that just the amount of time Sinners have taken to get into position has just given them the opportunity to use that information that Bait have gathered on Morisco's position and kind of stall Sinners out. Headtrick's been able to push back
that
into
was because
CT.
the smoke thrown ramp, though.
Yeah, good point. And now also be able to use Ticket Box to the best of his ability. He'll be able to deal with Zedco. 3 kills in the round for Headtrick. That's all he's doing so far. This is a really weird angle from Kenzazor, though. I don't like that one. A creep-up con there for Beestick easily takes the kill. Might have to be all Headtrick. Oh, he sees the head. Only just misses the shot. Hiding in the smoke now. How does he get away from this one? Essential in the other AWP. That's another head missed. 8 seconds for the plot, though. That's the biggest deal here. Headtrick will surely be able to find it. B6 found him. Headtrick's now trying to survive.
Go for the kill.
He has
Go
to
for the
survive
kill.
in Firebox, but he hasn't. But Bait still win the round just in the nick of time. He survived with a 1/10 of a second to spare.
I can't believe it. I thought that was done for. I just thought Sinners won the round even after Headtrick gets killed. I thought that was within time until I see on the screen with my very eyes 11 tick up to 12. If Headtrick just stays crouched, then it's never a problem. But it's because he stands that B-Stick gets an angle. But it's not enough. It's not in time. 12-9. Map point for Bait.
Oh, mate, I was staring at the top of the screen there to see which team would show up as the round one. Because it was so hard to tell at the very end there. Headtrick realised that he had to hide at the very last second, surely being, yelled at by his teammates to hide, hide, hide. It's the only way you're going to win the round. Oh, my word. That is a completely unique scenario in Counter-Strike and on Mirage of all things, right? Thousands and thousands and thousands of maps played, and we still see new things happen.
Yeah, that is crazy. What a ridiculous ending to the round. There's still a chance for Sinners, though. You win this 12-10, no money, 12-11. One full gun round between Sinners and overtime. This I'm going to regard as the force, but it's a force that has a double AWP at its disposal. Alex has just offered himself up there by trying to edge his way forward inadvertently into 2 players. And now we can think back to Morisco's position in Firebox in that previous round, Trav, and his decision to just execute NPL. Probably if he had just, gone for some trigger discipline, waited for that smoke to fade ramp, and then activated so he could combine with his teammates, would have been able to find a lot more impact from that position. Anyway, that's in the past. We need to focus up here because there's 30 seconds on the clock.
Sinners with a chance to get to double digits and a real chance to get this one very close to OT as well. Money for Bait is awful, as we've said. And
They haven't taken the bait.
Oh my word. This time he's allowed to do nothing at all. MPL will choose to stand and fight. Again, time is very low. They need to be very careful here, Sinners. That clock is worrying me. Essential is CT. 8 seconds, 7 seconds,
The
6,
bomb trap.
5, 4. Oh my
Just in
word.
time.
He's got it in time. Is there going to be a smoke bang from Essential? There's not. They're safe.
I don't even think that Bait are going to be going for this one, right? Yeah, especially not after that nade. My goodness, that was way too close for comfort within the last second of the round. The bomb plant comes through. That would have been the worst possible way for Sinners to lose the map. But now they have a chance. Santhiel just trying to get out of there with his AWP. Headtrick missed a key shot there in the round. He's going to be watching closely to see if Santhiel can keep this AWP in play. But Sinners are going to go searching, and why wouldn't they with the money they have in the bank?
Sinners truly cutting this incredibly close. Unbelievable. Could have lost the game again via a timeout. Wouldn't that have been crazy?
2 rounds in a row for the map to end.
I know. Lovely slow motion replay there by our production. Shout out.
Oh, Bait, what have you just done?
I can't believe this.
They've decided to spend all their money. I guess their thinking is even if we full save in this round, it's not like we're going to have everything we want in the next, so let's rather roll the dice for 2 force buys.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. If any team on Mirage and trust to make something like this happen, it would be Bait. Flash top mid, maybe for Kenzazor. They're going to break that smoke open though. There's no flash, and yeah, he's going to be exposed to Morisco.
That is Kenzazor in a nutshell, though. That's the type of player he is. 12-10, force buy. He wants to be the man to try and win the round for his team. And I love having a player like that on the team. But sometimes, you know, you can just immediately go down at the start of the round and not have any impact at all. And that's just what's happened, unfortunately. And there's now no one home on this A site. So Bait, fully committed to the stack on B. That should just be round over in itself.
Yeah, Bait are really... You know, they're playing a boring style here at the end with all these saves, but they've plainly just forced into it with the economy. Save is really the only option.
NPL is the only player on the side of the map right now.
Yeah, and you can't do much with an MP9, can he, from there?
Surely not.
Given one.
Okay.
Oh my god, that is just dirty work. He's managed to find Shock as well.
Does he call for his teammates now?
Chiggle pre-fight. If they had one defuse kit, I would say yes.
It looks like they still want to try and feel it out potentially. I mean, the bomb is nearly halfway gone already. Man advantage for Bait right now. Peppo on the drive-by has been tagged down. Okay, there we go. The kills come through, and you know what? That could even be better for Sinners. The fact that they draw Bait in to consider the retake so that they can dispatch of some of these weapons and make that next round that much easier.
Yeah, pretty funny, right, how it's worked out. Blessing in disguise that they lost a few frags early. Lured Bait back in. They're going to save a 5-7 and an AWP. Alex will do really well to push back onto the site and find the AK at the end of the round. That could be a big, big difference. And of course, MPL getting kill reward money as well for all his MP9 work there. The jiggle bursts with the MP9 are so difficult to track if you're a rifler on T there. This is it.
Well, here we go. Yeah, this is it. What a display coming through from Sinners. I did mention that I wasn't counting them out, which kind of went against what I said earlier on, but when I spoke later on, that was more based off of what I'd seen in the map so far and not just my thoughts on this matchup in general. Like, once I'd seen Sinners in the server and the way they were playing this T side and how convincing it was, I did kind of change my tune ahead of time. So I'm not entirely surprised to see this from Sinners. Headtrick Orb CT. That's going to be the linchpin here for Bait in the round.
Pepper will break the smoke, looking for something toward the corner of the bench. Headtrick on triple. We'll get mollied away from that. And Kenzazor, oh, Morisco, what have you done? Walking out B alone. I know you're trying to sell a bit of a fake, but just gifts a free AK over to Kenzazor. That feels like a mistake, but Headtrick's gone down. That's the biggest threat removed. That might be the key to overtime. Zedko will hold toward jungle, but it's a double MP9 swing and now another free AK available. MPL's found B-Stick as well. This guy is an absolute monster for his team. Another impactful multi-kill. It's Shock and Peppo versus Kenzazor and Essential. No kit on either of these two CTs, but no plant yet.
It's the 2 lowest fraggers alive here for Sinners to try and get this into overtime. They haven't done a huge amount throughout the map so far, but that will all be forgiven if they can stand tall and get the job done here. Shock will get traded, or excuse me, get a kill, and then, yeah, be traded up by a Senthiel into the 1v1. Pepo's up against a Senthiel, but Pepo is working against the clock as well. He's hoping that a Senthiel exposes himself, but he isn't being offered up anything right now. Does Pepo dare fake the plant? It doesn't matter. A Senthiel with the 5-7 steps out, gets the job done, and Bait win map 1 despite all of the adversity.
And just disconnects from the server literally instantly, as if to say, haha, map over, see you in map 2, and see you never. That is an insane win for Bait.
And they looked really good as a team, I would say, on Mirage. Probably just lacked in the firepower department, right? Shock and Pepo didn't really have a great game. I think Beastic was probably the best player, actually. Zedko had some big moments as well, but they did lack, like, some star-studded firepower on Mirage. Inferno, you can rely on the teamwork a lot more than Mirage, though, so perhaps that will be somewhat negated now coming into the second map. Here we go. Bait get to choose which side of the map they're going to start off on. It is the defensive half where they find themselves, and there's a big stack over towards the Say-Bomb side.
Yeah, they're relying on a Senthiel here just to delay as much time as possible. He's got a smoke and a flash to do exactly that. But at the same time, it's going to be pretty hard to hold anyone at bay, because Sinners aren't to know that there's only one player defending the site. And Senthiel actually isn't really in the best position to use that smoke. You'd expect him to be playing CT, they'd be jiggling as soon as he knows what's going on, chuck it down, try and play time rotate through Coffin and Church, but they use the flash now. That might ward them away a little bit, thinking that that's a flash to send a player in to go looking for a fight, but he'll see that's not the case. Senthiel, though, that's a beautiful tap on Shock. The problem with this is, even if you do get that really solid kill, you've given up the entirety of the site, you've given up the plant, and a retake, kitless, is so difficult.
Where's his... Oh, okay, still got the smoke grenade. Yeah, this is going to be really tough for Bait to get back into this B-bomb side. They're going to have a smoke to throw in towards the top of Banana, and that actually will isolate 2 players here, so that could be a big difference maker. They're going to have to get a move on, though, as they start to make their way forward. That's a great first shot coming through from a Senthiel. Seems like he's located the player in towards Dark as well. Pepo's doing damage, though. Himself and Beastic have both found a frag. Dinks aplenty. Sinners are desperately trying to fight back through the smoke. Alex has gone through the smoke. The diffuser's being stuck, and Pepo knows that, and NPL, well, he just can't afford to stick this diffuse. He doesn't have a kit, so he doesn't have a chance, and even though Bait get all the kills, Sinners win the pistol.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, if you're going to play the CT pistol like that, like, Senthiel does the absolute maximum. He gets his 1, he falls back. He keeps himself alive. He waits for his rotations. Look at this opening tap. It's exactly the right move to make. He even gets another one immediately to get a 5 versus 3, but it's just so hard to retake. I mean, you haven't got that diffuse kit. Sure, it's a great job done by the likes of Pepo. That was an incredible one to take. He does actually try buying up a T-side AWP there. It would have been a T-side glass cannon AWP. I'm glad he decides to sell that and try and go for the AK instead.
I'm not having it, mate. I'm not having any of that, but I'm right there with you. Where's the kit? If you're playing for a retake, you need a kit spend the 400, guys. Oh, Shock. He's going to have a couple players heading in his direction up to the challenge for the first, but does get overwhelmed there by the second. That was by design. They're Bait sending in multiple players into apartments, and now it's only Alex who's on the side of the map. He has got a smoke grenade primed. It's going to be necessary to try and keep these players at bay for now.
Nice tap from Senthiel. That's huge.
Yeah, indeed.
Morisco kind of walked into that one, probably thinking that was a bit more of a favourable duel for him, but Senthiel finds these random kills sometimes which don't look possible. A re-smoke, oh, they should just swing him now. Exactly. We'll know he's in the midst of pulling out his weapon. That's a good pounce from Pepo. I'll open up the bomb site, and Hedrick and Alex should be too far away.
They also knew, obviously, from the trajectory of that smoke grenade that he was towards the left side. He could just swing with full confidence. And ironically, probably works out against... ironically, probably works out against him, right? Because if he doesn't throw the util, then maybe someone walks into his crosshair. But he was never to know how far forward they actually were. And Sinners are going to make sure that they don't drop the ball against the force spy. Looking for a bit more from Hedrick here. I think he was okay on Mirage, but he did miss quite a few shots that were fairly uncharacteristic. I know that Inferno isn't an AWP's playground, but we've seen him do great work with the rifle in the past, so I'd like to see him pick up his game a little bit here in this all-important matchup.
Yeah, he had a couple of really important rounds on map 1, but overall was a little bit up and down. It's probably a bit frustrating for a Senthiel. If he watches that one back, he'll probably say to himself, oh, why did I smoke? Why did I smoke? But I almost feel like you want to use your utility in that scenario and you've got it available to you, especially on a lower buy like that. He's brought up a bit more. He's spread it across the team. Molly saved over. They've scavenged a little bit. But Sinners are in control of the economy early game on T side here.
Should be able to make it 3-0 as well, considering the weapons that they're going up against here in this round. Spot the boost outs, they drop the nade to try and inflict some damage, but Bait have already smartly disassembled that stack. They do have a stack top middle though, and they're going to be swinging off the back of a flash. Yeah, Sinners are smartly just kind of keeping some distance between themselves and Bait right now. Nice, safe, conservative approach. They've worked Banana, they've got control there, they can pressure the B-bomb site, force rotations. It's exactly what B-Stick is looking to do, but it doesn't seem like they want to commit. That's nice there from Headtrick, a little bit of damage, but the problem is it's going to funnel Sinners in towards the safe side. This is all by design for Sinners. Taking Banana, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of presence.
Yeah.
And the save bomb site is far weaker. NPL could go for the gamble shot through the smoke, which he will. Unfortunately, Kenzie saw their one player in a prime position has been dispatched of, and with that goes any chance.
Yeah, even if NPL hits a crazy dig through a smoke, it's not going to work out. Bait's goal in this round is kind of just to do as much damage to the T economy as possible, knowing they're buying next round anyway, which is probably why they will stick around here. Obviously, Molly on Headtrick. I do wonder if he's going to use or keep that. That could be a very precious Molotov, knowing the how bad the incendiary is on Banana these days. Not going to use it by the looks of things. It might not matter. They are getting kills either way. Our Sinners, good clear up. Important money for a Senthiel. We'll find the Galil. That'll definitely be used in the gun round. Survives as well to the bomb, just about. Worth it.
And now we have the first gun round. What does the money look like for Headtrick? Is he going to have an AWP here? Going to get... Yeah, he'll get enough. He'll have enough. But he decides against it. I think it would have had to have been glass cannon. You can see he spent 5,200, still has 200 in the bank. Actually, would have had enough for an AWP with Kevlar.
That's it.
Interestingly enough. Kind of surprised he doesn't go for that.
If there's any other map, maybe he would.
Yeah, true. Of course, utility super important on the CT side of Inferno. And Bait are looking to be proactive. The Senthiel's going to get ahead of the molly, but the nade that's combined with the flames is going to lead to his demise. A lovely combination of utility.
Yeah, Sinners are kind of bossing the play so far, utility-wise, positioning-wise, individual skill even-wise. Double setup in apartments here, but Morisco and Shock still together. Kenzor on this weird off angle. It's not an easy one to deal with here. Morisco swings it wide. How does he react? Quick forward. There is the check. It's a bit awkward for Kenzor. He gets his 1-for-1 only. And maybe a bait in for Headtrick in Boiler. Body might be in the way, and actually he does find one more. Doesn't see the head of his Zedco though. That's a response kill, and NPL tries to help out. That would have been the kill to recover it into a 2v2. Could have changed the complexion of the round. As it is now, Sinners should realise A is clear. Alex is too far gone. Will not even be allowed to save as well. Shouldn't get fought from top mid, and there we go. Pepper will take the kill. Sinners looking like the Sinners of old on Inferno right now. Remember they had such a great run on it when they had Oscar on the team a while back. This is another expert start.
Certainly was a super reliable map for them in the past, and this is exactly the start they would have been hoping for, coming off the back of just narrowly falling short on Mirage. Trades have been fantastic in this round in particular. Certainly a big highlight of the success that they have in that first gun round. Headtrick now has an AWP, but it's a couple for Masters to try and plug the gaps here for Bait. as they're in pursuit of still looking to try and get themselves on the board. B-Stick is also looking pretty sharp today, Trav. Could be looking the sharpest of the pack for Sinners so far, based on what we've seen in this all-important game.
Alex, the flash is really good. Essential's not really ready. That Incendio will not be doing much at all, and with no helmet, gets destroyed by the MAC-10.
Oh, man.
Round over, 5-0.
What
GG.
a call. What a brilliant call here. Big change of pace from Sinners. They've been going through the motions of getting Banana every round so far, but this time they don't just stop at getting control of Banana. They just ride that wave all the way into the B-bomb site, and they catch bait in transition. Alex was caught at an awkward timing. Forced backwards. Ascenthio was caught with a nade out. He just gets jumped on by the MAC-10. They didn't even stand a chance there in that round. This has been a blistering start to Inferno for Sinners.
No choice but to save what they've got. Again, we saw them being pretty save-happy on Mirage when it was an absolute necessity at the end of the game, right? Ultimately, it kind of won them the game, keeping that Ascenthio AWP. But this is normal Inferno here. They can drop, of course, 2 M4s if they really want to continue to invest. They probably will, knowing they're now on full loss.
I mean, 5-0 is not the end of the world, but if they lose this round here, I think that's when things start to ramp up exponentially, and then the pressure starts to build rapidly for Bates at that point.
Yeah.
There was a very realistic chance we could have ended up in overtime on Mirage. So they did well to get the job done in regulation. So at least they've got that buffer of a 1-0 lead in terms of the series at large. But they're going to have to try and get themselves online sooner rather than later here on Inferno.
Yeah, I think if they are able to grab 4 on the half from here, they'll be delighted. Definitely very winnable on T Inferno. 4 CT rounds from there.
Sinners have had banana control every single round so far in this first half. They got shocked to keep Bait focused over towards A throughout the round, and now they're going to make their way in towards the speed bomb site. Good first frag found from Headtrick, and he knows that he kind of has to get out of that position, because if he just stays there, he's going to get locked in. And he's actually done enough, seemingly, to send Sinners packing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's actually good from Headtrick. The dry peak from B-Stick not paying off, and now he's maybe forced him to the opposite side of the map. There's a double hold top mid here with MPL and Ascenthio. Will peek off each other's contact. Now I'm just going into this one dry because there's no other utility, and that's what's really hurting Sinners here. They've got so much money, but they use all their utility early round, and it's punished them heavily. They had absolutely nothing to use. It's important damage from Shock. One more kill would be amazing for him. They won't be allowed that. Thankfully for Bait, they get off the mark. 3 players alive. But Sinners is using their utility very, very early in the round with nothing left to go toward A.
Yeah, they get so scared of Headtrick over towards that B-bomb site as well, and I'm surprised that they don't try and just force the trade. Look at how far forward they were with 4 of them here. But that 1 kill is enough to spook them entirely. I think Headtrick was probably counting himself very lucky that he didn't have to do anything more in the round than just that 1 kill to then funnel Sinners in towards the top of mid, where then Bait could spring that trap with the crossfire. Has to be more where that came from Bait though. Can't afford to just be a 1 round in isolation.
Oh, you mentioned you like the Sinners pace changes. This is another big one. Very, very fast toward long. Kenzor thinks he has to fight towards short. They're actually refusing to go through that smoke as quickly as I thought they would. That allows Kenzor to find 1 more, and suddenly out of absolutely nowhere, it's only Peppo left alive.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Kenzie still had to be traded there. The fact that he gets a 2nd kill before he goes down is everything for Bait. Headtrick holds his ground as well. That was a very intimidating opening from Sinners, just running at Bait, but Bait are able to hold their ground. And Kenzie still even fights forward. That was so brave from him. Okay,
yeah.
Signs of life now coming from the Ukrainian team.
You could have forgiven Kenzor here after finding this kill to run back to the site and help out toward long, because he knows there are 2 players on long and he's heard them run up. And the information for Bait is all intact about what's going on there. But
What you
no.
can't forgive is Morisco not swinging after his teammate dies. He should have just committed through the smoke there immediately.
Yeah, you can understand why, for sure. That would have guaranteed the kill. The fact they respect that smoke when it wasn't really necessary is what costs Sinners a lot of space.
Because if they get that kill on Kenzie Sword, then they can just charge in towards the A site. Oh, Alex, why have you hung around? Why has he decided to hang around there? That was unnecessary. NPL here as well will get a kill back on his opposite number, so at least he restores that advantage for his team.
Kenzor off angle in pit. Shock, is he going to clear this one?
I mean, there's no way, right? You're looking into the bomb site when you're pushing forward from there, surely.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't instant, but Kenzie will still get the kill.
Yeah, it did let me nervy for a split second. There is another angle that you can use in pit there that's maybe a little bit safer, on this, like directly under the balcony. It's fine, they all work in those sort of scenarios anyway. Now, NPL just needs to be really, really careful. And honestly, he can't do much more than that. He's committed to Pillar. He'll go down to Morisco immediately. Kenzor and Hedrick are doubling up through Banana very, very speedily here. But Morisco's been given an opportunity. Hedrick's peeking quite early on in here, giving Morisco 1 versus 1, but now it's very difficult. Should be 2 peeks from either side, and there we go. Bait will get another one on the board, closing the gap to 2. Suddenly they're alive again.
Not a bad effort from Morisco. It just destroys NPL. Like you say, NPL's positioning probably a little bit questionable considering he's the only player on this bomb site. I reckon you want to just try and be in a position where you can buy some more time for your teammates to rotate. And it did seem like there was a world in which Morisco may have been able to clutch that out for his team. That's the B-stick double in Banana. This was the NPL trade through the smoke. Kind of stifled around there for Sinners. As they are getting online now, Trav. 3 rounds in a row. Sinners' economy, yeah, got a bit of a half investment going, so it's not like this round is without its potential pitfalls for Bait. They do have to proceed with caution.
Here comes the pace again. Top Banana taken immediately. All utility being dumped for Bait. And thankfully there's some pretty good counter flashes, but the Mac 10 could do damage here, and there we go. Alex will go down. Ascentiel's 56 HP. Good flash coming in toward that coffin position. And actually, to be fair to Ascentiel, he's done amazing work to find one. And they're given the AWP from Hedrick, so Hedrick will choose to fight instead, knowing they have to play on the front foot. There are 2 players, 3 players in front. The M4's pretty low on ammunition, but Ascentiel's been given another kill. 3v2, low HP. Peppo is trying desperately to fake him out as Zedko gets the plant down. And Zedko, he shouldn't have survived. It's a great opportunity for Ascentiel, but he makes up for it. It's all good. Now, Peppo, this is actually a vaguely winnable 1v3 here. There are kits and good util for Bait, though, which makes it very, very difficult for him. He's going to have to peek through the bottom banana, the top banana smoke, and other pieces of util as well, because the bomb's planted back behind the fountain, and there's no way he can get to it. He just holds for a push.
I was thinking the smoke grenade might actually work in Peppo's favor, because then maybe he could just try and spray through the smoke to deny... Wait, what? What was he doing? What was Blood doing? Ascentiel just jumps through the smoke at the end of the round. Did he die with the AWP as well? He does. Okay, never mind. Unless Hedrick has had to buy his own here, which I don't think he did. I mean, but Ascentiel died right at the end of the round.
He spent 5,600 in
yeah,
this round.
But he's also got head armor and full util.
True. Yeah, I only just caught that as well.
Sometimes in that situation, your 3v1 retaking the B bomb site, smoking off Banana can work against you, because then you give your opponents smoke to try and spray through and cover to work with. NPL goes searching, catches Morisco and Shock both with their nades out. That was awful timing for Sinners. That's
a great nade on Alex in response, top Banana, but it's a 5v3 for Bait again. They've really played aggressively on the CT side here, tried to really assert themselves after going 5-0 behind, and they truly have. Ascentiel will find Peppo as he hears the steps and the shots as well.
Oh, hello.
Great open of the smoke from Kenzor. And the way NPL got his 2 kills in apartments as well was so confident. Just standing tall. Didn't even, use any extra bullets than he needed to at the end of that spray. That's how confident he was that he got the kill immediately on the second.
Yeah. I mean, he is just so strong, full of confidence, as we've seen lately. B-Stick finds one. He's doubled down. I mentioned how I felt like B-Stick has been the most impressive and strongest mechanical player on the server so far for Sinners. 1 versus 5 turn 1v3. Guaranteed bomb plant here as well for the captain. A flash is all he has to his name. How does he set himself up here in the post plants? He's going to try and take some space in towards the back of Church. Headtrick is here right now, creeping his way forward. He's so quick, man. He's so damn fast on the angle. Beestick barely sees him, and Headtrick takes his life.
Yeah, tiny bit of a right eye peek there, helping Headtrick for sure as well. Very clean. And from 5-0, we're back good at 5-5. And I did say, right, if Bait get themselves 4 on CT, that's very workable. They've got themselves 5 already, and they could even win the bloody half.
That will be ridiculous, man, if they are able to go on to win the half from here. Sinners use a timeout, unsurprisingly, with the way that this half is kind of developed off the back of their very strong 5-0 start. Everybody waking up here for Bait. Coming alive. Damn, that chicken blinking is kind of a bit of like a... Yeah, can we check... I don't know, man, it's a bit scary.
Yeah.
Bang.
That's how they blink, though.
I don't know.
They have that like
a
little
haunted
shutter.
chicken.
The shutter that comes across their eye, you know? Like, I know it sounds stupid calling an eyelid a shutter, but it kind of looks like that, right? Because it comes from a different angle for birds.
Yeah, true. Kind of comes from like the left and the right side.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to top and bottom. Either way, I'm sure that's what everybody's
Agents
here
blink
to
as
listen
well.
to right now. Just like me for real, Trav. I also tend to blink.
How dare you?
I know. My eyes... It's getting all... You know what, Trav? Let's actually just put that conversation on ice. I think probably letting it get away from me. But you know what is not getting away from Bait is this half. Headtrick is now in apartments. Shock has normally got a good wide swing here from this position. He's got a teammate who's going to combine with him for the double peak. And, well, at least Headtrick does get one, but he was always going to go down.
Blink and you'll miss it. Quite literally. Quick 1-for-1. Headtrick will have to take that. Sinners wanting to stop the rot here. Essential once again in an anchor position, secondary AWP. So the same on B-Site Mirage. Beta putting this one out a little bit more often recently, and well, if Beesick does that to you, there is nothing you can do. They know there's one more player on the side. Alex is trying to hold him at bay. Beesick gives him a gap to work with, and damage done to the other two as well. Alex's positioning is really good. Insane reaction on the second. Pistol out for the third. He somehow put Morisco down to 13 HP. What on earth? He's trying to walk the CT smoke, but he's a dead man walking, and Bait have won 6 in a row.
Yeah, thank Alex for that one, man. He saved the day. Very smart decision-making from him there, the way he closes the gap to make it so difficult for Sinners to try and get through the smoke. But then notice he doesn't panic. He doesn't start to panic spam the smoke after he knows there's players there for Sinners. He recognizes he's only got that 20-bullet magazine. See here, he doesn't commit to that spray. Gets the first frag, then he slides against the smoke. He hugs the smoke. He makes it so tough for Sinners. Then he hears the footsteps, so he knows he's got that kill dead to right. Finds a lot of follow-up damage. USP, dink on Morisco. Man, what a hold from Alex on that B-bomb side.
Stunning.
And Kenzie's Hall's already opened up. Essential once more. They've got to be careful here.
Yeah, they have been burnt going a bit over-aggressive already, but they're just trying to make Sinners scared of them. And there we go. Well, I'm not going to be scared of them if you're doing that. I understand why they're peeking like that, to try and chain the doors in Banana and just win them out. But plainly, that wasn't entirely necessary. It's given Sinners a great chance to get a second 6-6. It was Bait to clutch up 6-6 on Mirage. Is it Sinners' turn? MPL, great nade, great frag on Peppo. Hang on, it's a 3v2 recovered. Nade to break the smoke, doesn't really break it that much, but they can still boost CT. Morisco's trying to shift back away with the bomb. I tell a lie, he's actually coming back again, but he could be walking into his death. He's got into pool. CT smoke has faded. When does Morisco go for a look? The answer's now, and Headtrick will take him down. Zedco 1v3 finds one big swing from Headtrick. That is a mistake. So all MPL goes for a swing immediately, but Zedco recovers it. Bait, overconfident in their duels, will punish them. 6-6 at half. See you in a minute. Another super entertaining map between Bait and Sinners. Bait will be feeling a bit sheepish and maybe a bit guilty for going a bit too aggressive in a couple of duels at the end of that first half. Switch over to T, arguably the favourable side, to try and close out this BO3, but Sinners will not go away.
Yeah, they're going to do everything they can. I mean, they were in complete control in the early stages of the first half, but Bait did very well to recover it back to even keel. Morisco wants to go searching with the Julie's timing. NPL rounds the corner. Morisco back turn, but NPL can't get the kill. He'll leap back in the angle. Oh, Shock's gone down in the meantime. I was wondering how NPL had stayed alive for so long when there was another player there, but he had died. And that's going to get Bait full control of the say bomb site.
B-Stick pushing forward. Good. Finding a Senthiel. Good. Careful here, Bait. Again, no over-peeking in the pistol. There's no kit for Sinners, of course, so there shouldn't be an issue. We've seen crazier things happen. We are falling back to save, though, so there's no worries here. B6 just sticking around looking for bonus cash on the exits. And get as much as possible he can glean. Oh my goodness, these taps are glorious. Actually been given another one as well. Alex will finally trade him out. I think Bait knew there was no risk in the round, but they're giving B-Stick $900.
Yeah, it was really important that Alex was able to combine with NPL there. They timed their push into apartments to perfection to just completely disassemble that stack there from Sinners. That two-man setup rendered useless. And Sinners are going to try their hand at a force buy here. Pepper with the FAMAS B-Stick. With some extra money off the back of the 3 kills he gets in the pistol means he gets a little bit of extra utility here. It's kind of similar to what we actually saw in the first map. Sinners starting strong, Bait clawing their way back. I'm not sure if it'll follow the same suit, but Bait then did start to pull ahead in the second half. So let's see if they can get the job done against the force buy here. They're moving quite quickly in these rounds. Sinners could get caught napping on the say bomb site here. They commit 2 players into Banana. Morisco's going to try and rotate around. He's going to arrive in time, but the problem is he's going to be completely blocked off by these smoke grenades. He deploys one of his own, though, just to disrupt this round here from Bait. Does he try to go through the library smoke as a result? Doesn't look like he's committed to it, but even Zedko's now rotated. Sinners have got 4 players here.
Yeah, it could be a mass brawl about to go down. Smoke up.
Interesting.
That's a weird one, yeah, I agree. It does block off Pit somewhat, but you're thinking maybe it would favour a CT in this sort of position. Peppo, still on the side, not being cleared just yet, but it's really difficult with a FAMAS. Gets one, would love another one, but he's going to get cleared properly. And then enough chip damage to the long player as well to stop him from giving it a go. Bait have figured it out again, despite going into a pretty tough crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of like a fake stack on the A bomb side because 2 of the players were archers and library sides. They couldn't really help the teammates on the A site. And I do like that variation smoke that Bait throw here towards the van because then they can isolate the site, right? They're not as worried about Pit. And they never really panicked. They never forced the issue either after they got into top mid and they spotted a player short. They didn't just try and chase him down like a pack of rabid dogs. They had their composure. They had some class, Trav.
Always like a bit of class. Little cherry on top. What would you say is the classiest thing you've ever done in your life?
That's a good question.
I realise that's a very tough question. That's why I asked it to you.
Lovely.
It's an eco now, so we have time to think about
mate.
it.
I mean, there's like the normal things, going to weddings. I've never done any crazy like, going to a royal gathering or watching horse racing. I can't actually think of anything like super black tie, formal, classy events I've been to.
Great flash. Oh my goodness, I say great flash. B6 on so much damage. Head trick. How have you taken so long to get that trade? Something this round's falling apart. talking about classy things, Bait need another classy recovery here because Sinners are putting the mockers on them on this full eco. And NPL going so aggressive against the USP of all things. He's just getting so much damage done to him. It has opened up more space elsewhere though. Alex has been allowed to get himself through apartments and try and duel the site. And P9 tries to be pre-fired by a head trick. It looks disgusting. But again, they've managed to figure it out.
That's an apt choice of word there, Trav, because this is looking pretty bleak right now for Bait. I mean, they are going to be able to get the job done here, I think. Yeah, Nade not going to touch down. Smoke Grenade locks Morisco out. P250, no armor, no chance. And we'll just commit to his death here. And Bait are going to breathe a massive sigh of relief that they've been able to weather the storm against the eco. It was always supposed to be their round, but they had to work very hard. Trav, the classiest thing I think I've ever done before is go to school.
Fair enough. For me, I was gonna pluck out going to the HLTV Awards. So you know.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I'm taking you with me next year.
I'm going with you next year.
Good. I'll take you as a +1. I'll literally put you down.
Because you have that power, Trav.
Because I have that power, and I don't have a girlfriend.
But that means we also have to hold hands. I hope you know that. We've got to really sell the +1 aspect of it.
I wouldn't be
We're not
opposed
just a
to
duo
that
of casters,
at all.
mate. Oh, Shock and Alex. They've crossed paths a couple times in apartments because they both default on the T and the CT side. That's a missed shot there from Peppo, and Alex wants to punish. Oh my goodness, this is relentless from Alex right now. Chasing Peppo down. Peppo's missed another shot. Alex, you demon.
Well, he does have 666 in his name. This guy is a madman. Look at that. I mean, poor Morisco, dude. What on earth are you supposed to do? But he's in pit, playing a normal position. He's mollied out, has to swing, and he gets dueled by 4 of them at once. It's another level for Bait.
They've just been kind of going for this death ball approach throughout the entirety of the T side so far, though, right? It's been very numbers-heavy approach from them up until now. And it's working wonders. Again, I'm going to highlight the lack of fragging prowess here from Sinners, Trav. B-Stick 15-11, that's great, but Shock's still having a really tough time. Peppo the Orpa 10 for 10. Morisco with only 4 kills so far. Bait are 3 rounds away from the grand final. If not now, then never for Sinners. They've got to pitch up.
It will still stay alive, of course. There's no elimination on the line for either of these two. So as we go into the lower bracket, it would play the winner of Betera, Paravision, or Zero Tenacity. And yes, Betera have beaten Navi Junior 2-0.
Wow.
The dream
I was
run for
wondering if that's where
Betera
you
in
were
the
going
league.
with it.
Yeah, the dream run for Betera in the league continues this season. Navi Junior, listen, there's no risk about them, winning Challenger League and then figuring out whether Navi play Pro League or not to see if
Yeah, exactly.
Navi
That's
Junior
not a
get the
worry
spot
anymore.
That is all academic now, as they say.
I mean, surely Betera are the team with the least odds of making it from here, right? Like, they are... Surely there's no world. I'd even pick Sinners before Betera. Paravision, another team in the hunt for that spot. They're looking pretty good against Zero Tenacity right now.
Yeah.
Leading
Map on
1-0 in the
7-3.
series. 7-3 up in the second map. We shift our focus back here though, Trav. It's going to be a half investment from Sinners. They have looked dangerous in these rounds in the series gone by. So Sinners are going to have to, Bait are going to have to stay locked in here. Absolutely can't afford to drop the ball. This is a very good opportunity for Bait to get to 11.
Yeah. And I feel like the previous LAN opportunities that Bait have had have kind of been like few and far between. And quite of them like smaller LANs which don't have like really drawn out formats, like Elisa, for example. The Mongolian LAN they recently attended. That was obviously a mess due to scheduling and crazy delays. So maybe they get a chance at Pro League after the major. See how they do at the major, and then have a chance to either put right what went wrong or continue what went right at Pro League. Would be incredible for them. They are the team that I just feel like is so ready for this. And as I've joked in the past, right, Navi are in a really weird position right now with their current main lineup. MPL still technically on loan, At this point, they might be asking for him back at some point.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I wouldn't count that out of what could happen after the major. Problem is, NPL might just say no if he has that power. Anyway, lots of power for Sinners over towards the B-bomb side because they've got 3 players here. The util's really good for the T side. In fact, the util might be what saves them. Job's not done though. Off the back of those 2 kills, I thought it might be, but Zedco and Shock have answered back with a couple of their own. It's going to require a trade from Alex with the Julies. And if there's anybody you would want left alone in this clutch, it would be B-Stick.
He's quite close, of course, but smoked off. And no kit. Is he backing away? That's painful to have to back away like that on this particular round. He's going to leave. He's going to give it up.
That's unfortunate. Feels, I don't know, with so much money, guaranteed a full buy in the next. Kind of wish we saw him actually just roll the dice and attempt the retake there, especially with how close the series has been so far. Some wild and wackadoodle things have happened. He's going to look for exits though. Oh, but you can't die now, B-Stick. That's going to defeat the entire purpose of not even having attempted the retake.
Yeah.
Surely, right? Look at how much money Bates have. It doesn't matter that you get a kill. It's inconsequential.
I mean, you can buy next one anyway. Like, he's got 6,850 in the bank.
But that's why I should have just gone for it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh man, Bait 2 rounds away here, Trav. 2 rounds away from finishing off the job. Sinners yet to open up their account in the second half. And if not now, then they can basically just kiss this game away in that spot in the grand final, at least for now. Oh, Kenzie saw looking like a live wire in towards the top of Banana, but B-Stick will best him. That might be enough to disparage Bait from Banana altogether.
Oof. Yeah. Peppo's just got off the angle. That's awkward timing for Sinners. 2 on site now to defend it. They are rotating around CT, as you can see right now, but they're going to be smoked off toward long, and Bait are ready to, again, go for one of these big 4-man pushes up short. Risco will actually do pretty good work with his utility to keep them at bay. B-Stick on that moto smoke, on the corner. Just about avoid taking any duel for now. He really wants a flash. He's going to get a flash. They are both blind. Just about finishes his dinner on the second. 5v2. Great hold for Sinners. Some life left.
Yeah, B-Stick doing it all, man. First frag found in Banana, rotating across to the A bomb site, finding a great double. It was fairly arduous, but he does get both those kills in time. Morisco fluffs his lines, but he has baited in Shock. They're never going to expect another player into pit. And if you're head trick, well, you're probably just going to have to call it a day. Sinners finally win a round in the second half, almost entirely thanks to the captain. Such a strong flash to be thrown into long there, right? It's really tough to do anything about that as the T side. Just lambs to the slaughter when you're out in the open.
Patrick will not give up anything. 2 to save. I was worried for a second here that MPL will get his vision back very quickly. B-Stick definitely wasn't planning to not complete the kill on the first attempt from the first player. It's all good.
Plenty of money for Bait here. And it looks like they want to still try and contest for top Banana. We did see Kenzie Saw committing in the previous round and cost him his life. Chip damage going both ways this time round. A whole lot of util being committed. Kenzie Saw, does he go forward off the incendiary? No. Retreats instead. A lot of util exchange between the two teams in Banana, and Zedco now takes up his position behind the barrels. That smoke is all that separates them right now, and there are 4 players on the other side for Bait. Zedco will step out, and he's only good for 1.
B-Stick did fall away as well. Didn't play off his teammates' contact in any way. So it looks like Bait are going to try and go for the pounce here through the smoke. They're going into Molotovs, guys. MPL will take the damage. They know exactly where B6's playing from. That Molotov will force him into the open eventually, but B6 tries to delay as much as possible, and it works perfectly. Still finds the kill, dies after he goes down, but doesn't matter. It's all good. Great hold. Peppo got 2 as well in the meantime, by the way.
I have a feeling that B-Stick actually had a molly there and not an incendiary, because that seemed like it did a lot of damage to the players coming through the smoke. Might have picked one up from the previous round and carried it over. Not entirely sure, but just a bit of speculation. And now Bait have a broken bye. So Sinners are clawing their way back. They've left it to the 11th hour. Literally Bait on 11. But they're still alive. They're kicking. Or I guess, better put, it's B-Stick who's dragging them through this game. He's calling and he's fragging.
He is indeed. 21-13 is a crazy performance from B-Stick. One of the best I've ever seen from him, actually, in a game of this importance. Utility coming up toward mid here for Bait. A lot to take it. Force Peppo back to that next angle on site, as it so often does if you're the AWPer on A. Flash toward long again. Marisco goes for a check. There's a second flash to chain. And he does have support from B-Stick in toward Arch. It's a great HE. Kensdor down to 59. And Senfield needs a stunning 1 dig. He's actually managed to hit it. But the kills are coming through for Sinners. Peppo with another kill on the AK instead of the AWP. Switching immediately. Back into a 2v3. Headtrick and Alex. Shocks on the off angle, checking towards long. And, oh my word, a bit nervy on that second kill. But manages to recover it. 2 for Shock. Gap is now 2 rounds.
And it should be reduced to 1, because Bait aren't going to be spending any money here. Oh man, Sinners. What an impressive temperament from them that they've been able to keep their heads despite being down 11-6 and on the verge of being condemned to the lower bracket. They've been able to keep it together, man. Headtrick's going to get the hero AK here to try and give his team something to work within the eco, but this is falling apart for Bait. It's become too one-dimensional, and Sinners have actually read into that. They've realized that because Bait are just playing this pack-based mentality, wherever there's no presence, they're not going to be hitting that side of the map. They haven't had like a lurker keeping banana control, take brackets, go back, exec into the B-bomb site. It's just been wherever you've seen players or seen utility being thrown, that's where Bait are headed. And Sinners have constantly had the correct side of the map stacked up as a result. So Bait need to evolve a little bit here on this T side, not be so predictable.
Yeah, Bait just know how good they are at playing that style. They like to stick to it, right? Just know they've got that ability at any given moment.
But the problem with it on Inferno is that Sinners are constantly getting banana control and then knowing for a fact that Bait aren't headed in that direction. It does look like now Bait are going to try and change that up by going for some late presence in banana, but Peppo's posted on the angle and the hero AK hits the deck.
Covered by Asenthiel, playing pass to parcel with the AK. Good hold from Marisco, though. Kenzor will go down. It's only NPL left now, and the gap will be 1. They will get their guns back up again, but it's starting to get nervy. Headtrick's not going to be on much at all, obviously. Going to make sure he dies before time here. Seiko will try and waste as much time as possible and try and... Yeah, it's exactly the right play. He's nabbed the AWP, so he's going to have to kill him now. Yeah, that's fair enough. I was going to say, if he didn't try and grab the gun, then definitely just try and waste the clock as much as possible. Don't kill him, and try and kill him after time to really punish the buy next round. But obviously, they don't want MPL to save the AWP.
(10-11). Sinners on the brink of leveling up the scoreline. Headtrick now has to atone for his sins of going for the hero AK in the previous round and not getting anything done with the gun. So it's a Tech 9 for him. AKs across the board outside of that. If Sinners get 11 here, then 12 is ripe for the taking. Bait will have to eco and then try play for overtime from there. Very good fight back from Sinners. Gotta make sure they don't overplay this round, though. That was cheeky from Marisco, but he won't be punished. how much of a difference that 1v3 from Zedko at the end of the first half has made here, Trav. If he doesn't win that round, then who knows what happens in the second half.
Yeah, spot on. Bait will be kicking themselves if that's a deciding factor.
Here's Bait's opportunity. There's only 2 players on the same bomb site right now, and Sinners aren't rotating anybody. Beastick's now going to get on his horse and try and shift across, but this is an opportunity. This is a really good opportunity for Bait, but they got to get a move on. I feel like they've taken too long to actually activate and push in the A bomb site a couple times now, which is always allowed for these B players to rotate across in time. It's happened again.
Will Bait realise this at any point? Haven't got much time to figure it out. 35 seconds now. Rolling toward long, won't be catching anyone. And yeah, this four-man rotation. Exactly, this four-man rotation is now ready and raring to go. You got Pepper with the AWP watching toward Arch. You've got Beastic in front of that smoke. It's good util toward Morisco. They could just hit the entries. We know what Bait are like. They could just win these deals that are absolutely nowhere. And Senfield has found Shock in the meantime, but they need this plant. Hedrick has not got it down yet. He has to cross into the site, and look where Zedko is. Hedrick's going to try and cross, but he just won't be allowed to. Bait and choking on Inferno. We saw it in the MRQ. The plant, surely. Is it possible? Only just.
Yes, it is.
With 1 second to spare, and Alex found Big Stick anyway. And Ascenthiel gets off the plant, deals with Peppo. How have they managed that? I tell a lie. It's not a choke. It's a Heimlich.
I can't tell you how they haven't lost that round there. They had nothing going for them. The clock was against them. Sinners had everybody leaning over towards the A bomb site. They had the quick flank. They even had this kill from Zedko. I thought the round was over at that point. But the bomb kind of gets thrust forward after he kills the carrier, and I think that helps him out. I think that makes a difference. It's easier to pick up and activate at that point. Oh, Bait have saved themselves. Guaranteed OT at the bare minimum.
The game mechanics have saved them with the way the bomb gets thrown forward where you're looking, right?
Yes, true.
Gets thrown into that next player to give them any chance at all to get it planted. Bait once again reveled in the madness. It did look pretty choky, don't get me wrong, but it was Ascenthiel and Alex to help them out once again. Alex up to 20 now.
You did say how Bait can sometimes just frag their way out of those sort of situations, and it's exactly what they do. Such good composure within their unit, man. I feel like Bates have had an awful time of it in towards Banana so far. Is that going to change here? Zedko going to smoke his way forward. He's looking for a fight. Oh my goodness, he's going to force the issue right now. Kenzie Saw on the other side.
Oh
Ascenthiel gets a kill, and then that just prompts Kenzie Saw to spam the smoke. Peppo's going to head back in this direction, and he has a massive job to do. And he's dead.
He's done for. Shock might get a freebie on toward Alex here, but how do you recover a 2v4? Bomb's going to be planted on B. As he's taking a while to recover an NPL. Almost getting caught there. Having to recover the C4 from T-Ramp. It's a very messy end to the game for Bait, but as I say, sometimes they just know how to get away with it. They know what to do. Ascenthiel's all the way in towards CT. It's all down to Shock, and he's going to get stopped by a head trick. Bait have taken one huge step to ESL Pro League for next season.